Hello everyone! Hope you're having a wonderful day today because we're going to be talking about Beyblade Burst Rise. Not really an update video, more of like sort of like a speculation discussion video, and also my own little theories. So as you can tell by the thumbnail, I've kind of tried to modify the TT ones. I kind of try to make them look like they're Hasbro's, right? And I really want to talk about my thoughts on Rise now, and also how I think they're probably going to handle some bays, if they're even going to do it at all. So enjoy it. If you have any thoughts, put in the comment section below. Just please be respectful to whatever anybody has to say. And as well, obviously, nothing's concrete. Could be good, could be whatever, you know. We don't know yet. That's why I just want to really just get started with this discussion video. So first of all, let's go over what we do know. We know there's going to be this little set. We know that the discs are modified. We know that the performance tips have been modified to match stadiums like this and like this. We know that the bays have gone through a lot of changes. The colors of the layers are a lot more crazier and cooler. We know that a lot of the bays are going to be changed, so meaning we're not going to really retain most of what the gimmicks were, as per usual with transition. And basically the main idea with Rise, just going over all this stuff, is that this is more or less, no, this is literally just Hasbro taking the concept of GT, but modifying it, trying to make their own identity. Whether you like it or don't like it. Because at this point, if you've been asking for TT accurate bays, we've really almost never gotten that. Like Evolution basically took away, Evolution, we got skipped on like some important stuff. I think it was the disc and a frame of bay and the driver. Okay, not that bad. But the customization of God chips, like, you know, in Turbo took out the metal and then after modified the things, but then after basically all the bays are kind of balanced out, sort of. And I guess the same thing is happening with Rise. It's just sort of, it's not even actually, this time around I can't even say it's a balance, because like, when you look at GT to Chozy, like most of the Chozy bays, not all the Chozy bays, some of the Chozy bays can really just slap around GT bays, and other than maybe like what, Judgement, Zwei, Lord, maybe also Union, the bays are kind of like in this weird power creep thing where they kind of got to make the thing so bulky and big and like crazy to fight up against, right? And when you look at stuff like Hasbro, like let's look at this. Hasbro's changing it up a lot to where they don't even care about it anymore. They just want to do their own cool little stuff. Which in a way is good, because that means that they can at least be more creative. Because I think something that held them back a lot was the fact that they're trying to be too much, trying to be so close to TAKARA TOMY. I think they just said, yeah, you want to know what? Let's just try to be us. And that's why the bays are like that, right? That's why the bays all have these like modified designs. But not the point of that discussion, right? What I want to get to is the other bays that they're going to handle. So first of all, let's go simple. So we know that Ace Dragon is, and the other Ace Dragon, there's a starter one and then after there's one in the set. We know that that's going to be done by Hasbro. And we also know there's going to be a Rock Dragon. It's also going to be done by Hasbro in a 2-pack. So we know there's one in the set that has the anime accurate colors, one that's just a recolor, and the other one which is the different layer bays. So could this theoretically mean, possibly mean, I'm keep on using big words right now, I'm confusing myself. Could this mean that Grand Dragon could just be another 2-pack? Is Hasbro maybe going to do this thing where instead of doing like a release like TT, how they just do multiple layers at once, they just throw us like, alright, you want Rock Dragon, buy the Rock Dragon and it'll be 2-pack. You want Grand Dragon, go buy, I don't know, what have we paired with? Maybe Valar recolor, something like that? Who knows? And what about Diabolus? Before I even cover how I think they're going to handle that bait, is the Erase base going to just be a 2-pack and they'll just do a starter? Now, I want to go over the releases that we don't know about yet in order. So first of all, let's talk about a bay that I think needs to be talked about quite a bit, which is Judgement Joker. So Judgement Joker, if you don't know, in the Japanese TAKARA TOMY version, has rubber on the sides. And the whole point of it is that with the Judgement layer base, there's a little stopper that's like on Joker, and there's 2 sides, one weak and one good. Now with the rubber and everything, it makes Joker a freaking monster, right? And with Joker, with the parts, it's not like it's a complicated gimmicky disc, so we can rule out the fact that they won't give us the parts that come with it. I would suspect, I could be wrong, but I think Joker will come with 00 in turn, which is what the stock was. My only concern is this. Trick is literally like basically what Hasbro would want for Hypersphere. I don't think they would modify Trick that much, since Trick is basically what a Hypersphere tip kind of looks like. I just hope we regain the gimmick of Trick. First off, Trick is not a good driver. I'll say it like this. Even if a driver isn't good, I still kind of want it to be close, but will it be close? I don't think it'll be too bad either way. I just hope maybe there'll be some sort of, I don't know, maybe when it, I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know how they're going to do it. My thing is this, with the Judgement Lair base, because of how Hasbro base are, having like rubber on a Joker for Hasbro is going to kind of be broken for the Hasbro meta, right? Like for TT, it's alright because we have Zwei with metal, we have Chozy Achilles with metal, Chozy Valkyrie, we have like Chozy Spryzen, and Judgment was like a good thing to be like, hey, you're not that OP now that I'm here. So if it's plastic, which I'm guessing it most likely will be, we don't know yet, it probably would make the most amount of sense for the Hasbro. Now if they go with rubber, hey, I'm all for it, but probably just plastic. My only concern with the Judgment base is that I hope they keep the stopper on there. And another thing I hope is that if they are going to do the Judgment base, and it's going to be plastic, I do not want the bottom part hollowed out, because that is not going to be good for a Judgment base for Hasbro. I hope the bottom part is filled up, even if it is plastic, please. I don't like hollowed up, like, layers, right? And we already know how this thing works. I actually did do an edit, which I'm going to go back to the thumbnail edit, because that's kind of basically my concept for the thing. What is it? So the Joker is just going to have like the fused Xanon, and I tried to, by the way, with this edit, I'm not going to go back to it anymore for this video, but the main idea was kind of trying to make it look a lot more plasticky and a lot more solid colors, just to like give that vibe like it's Hasbro, right? Because that's my only way to visualize this. So next up, let's talk about Zwei. So the thing is with Zwei, the Zwei layer base has metal. We can't ignore the fact that it has metal. Now the thing is this, it's a kind of a meme where it's like you have Lost Lunar, which has the metal, you have Nightmare Longinus, which has quite a bit of metal, then Brutal Lunar has no metal, so will Zwei have no metal? Now the thing is this, it's Drake is gonna be a little bit of a concern for Hasbro, because I'm gonna say it like this. 12 has the issue where you gotta have a frame on it, right? So Hasbro's Drake will probably be a more dangerous 12, which probably means we need to have a frame on that, because they're definitely not gonna have the bottom part of it, because let's be honest, they're modifying everything to where it's a similar shape, but they're all frame compatible. The other part, like for Spiral Hypersphere, I don't really care what they do, because let's be honest now, we already have like, we can just like take the Lost Lunar Spiral and just put it on there. Now, my alternate take on this, on Zwei Lunar, right? And my alternate take on Joker in the next one is that they could potentially do a Switch Strike release for maybe like the really important days. Like, don't forget that like with Dread Hades, right? Since Hasbro doesn't do, the dash drivers, they just put like a normal Zephyr tip and they just said, oh, Zephyr has like crazy balance or something like that, right? So Zwei Lunar, maybe we could potentially get maybe some limited metal, similar to maybe Breaker Excalius. And we could have like the spiral tip, but I don't know about the disc or anything like that. Like Hasbro Switch Strike is a whole nother like cup of tea that I don't even want to talk about right now for Rise, because if Hasbro can literally just, if Hasbro focuses on the hype, not the Hypersphere, if Hasbro focuses on the Switch Strike lineup, that's how it's going to get a lot more people interested, because a lot of people don't like the gimmicky stuff and like more the Switch Strike lineup. Like if I talk to anybody and I say, what do you prefer for Hasbro? It's always Switch Strike. It's always. Their Switch Strike lineup is so good, they could easily do some of these bays and have like the Switch Strike gimmicks on them. Like you could have Joker with maybe limited rubber. Just limited, probably plastic, who knows. Now the next one I need to talk about is Diabolus. Now Diabolus, they could easily just do erase in some other 2-pack and have some modified thing. How do you make a Hypersphere version of Bullet? Now I had the question before, how do you make a Hypersphere version of, it's not Hypersphere, excuse me. How do you make a Slingshot version of Absorb in Quest? I got it answered. I'm a little bit scared. Now, Bullet, if you don't know what Bullet is on the performance tip of Diabolus, right? And the whole gimmick to it is basically that a mini bay will like pop out, and it's really cool. Now, my theory is going to be this, that though maybe we get lucky and Diabolus is a switch strike, and just the bottom part of the bay is plastic, which is probably the most sensible thing. There'll be no metal on the bottom. But don't forget that Orichalcum on Octa did have the metal. So I don't think if they did do a Diabolus switch strike, like I actually got it right here. Look, they could easily just like have the metal on there. Like, this is super limited metal, even less than Octa. So I hope if we ever get Bullet for switch strike, they just do it like that. As for Diabolus, I just think that the Gatinko chip, or excuse me, the GT chip, will just be like, it's like, think of like the Spryzen chip basically, and this yellow part here will just be like fused on the Erase and Venom base, because obviously they can't have any metal. They can't have any metal on the things now. The layer which are all plastic and infused, and plus we learned this from Turbo Spryzen. If there's any color on something that was metal for TT, it's just gonna be straight up plastic. So probably we can expect something like that. So anyways, going back to the discussion. So we pretty much can understand all these bays and everything, right? So I want to move on to the next thing, which is actually going to be this Bahamut set and whatever, right? Because I would have talked about the random layers, but for an example, like Poison Hydra and Flare Drag. First off, Hydra, I think Viper Hydrax, that red wreath thing, that red left rotating bay, is just Hasbro's version of Poison Hydra. They didn't want to do the rubber or whatever, and they just made that. Because why would you make Hydrax instead of doing Hydra, right? That's what I think. It's Hasbro's identity for this stuff. They just want to modify the thing, which is the next topic. Like, a lot of people are saying, will they do Flare Zeus? I don't think that's the case. I think they'll do maybe Flare or whatever they'll call Flare. Some Hasbro exclusive evolution chip on the Flare layer base. My only question is it going to have like the Zeustron Z4 treatment or the Z3? Because Z4 had the metal balls just all plasticky there, and I really hated that. But maybe we get lucky and it's like Z3 and they have the metal balls there. You can tell them in the comment section below. The next thing on the topic, let's talk about this set. So Lord Spriggan, Dread Bahamut, ignore the Slash Dragon, I didn't bother to crop it out. So, I think Hasbro logically has to do the Lord Spriggan, and whatever they call it, Lord Spryzen, League Spryzen, Leader Spryzen, whatever they want to call it. Now the thing is this, okay, if they're not gonna do rubber to begin with, they're not doing metal at all. The Lord Lair base is just gonna be kind of interesting for Hasbro, like really interesting. Because they have to do that Spryzen thing, because it makes sense for if they want to get sales, and it makes sense for everything else. Now, for the parts, I don't even know. Like, Spryzen stock is just like, what is it? It's Blitz and Dimension Dash. Now, I don't think are they gonna make Dimension Hypers? No, that's impossible. I don't think they could even do that right. Are they gonna make it a Slingshot? Because that's the only... I don't know. That's another question I have then. No, but that'd be so weird. That'd be too awkward. I don't know. But maybe they'll do it. Maybe they'll do something. Maybe it's gonna be like a weird tip where it's short and just twist it up for Hyper Spear. Now, Dread Bahamut. Now, Dread Bahamut has the Gen weight, but the thing is this: for the Dread Lair base, the Gen weight probably won't. How are they gonna do the Gen weight? Like, even if they do Dread Bahamut or whatever they want to call it, Dread Balkis, like, even if they do Switch Strike, like, I could still see how they can make the thing work for, like, the shield thing that the gimmick has, but, like, Gen would probably be fused in plastic, would it not? But how would they... Okay, I think it's gonna be like this. I think the Bahamut GT chip, the middle will just be red, be like a weird shaped red. And I think maybe it'll just have, the Dread base will just maybe have that red insert plastic tab. I don't know. I can't even think of how they could do that. Now, they could easily make Dread Balkis, I'm just gonna say Dread Balkis, not even the official name. They could easily make it to a strike, do 7 wall, and The thing is this, since Switch Strike has no screw-ups like Octo had the metal, they could literally just do metal orbits for Switch Strike. Now, I do not want to see metal orbit Hypersphere, because that ain't gonna happen. Please. And I do not... The worst case we can have for Balkis, especially if they do Switch Strike and they don't do the metal, is if they just get like the regular orbit tip and they just make the ball on the bottom like gray. Like just painted like silver metallic, right? So, moving on to the next one, right, before we kind of get close to wrapping it up, I was also going to go over this quickly. Like, for an example, I think they're not going to do Tact, because Tact is like, it's so gimmicky with the weights and everything that it doesn't make sense for Hasbro to do it. I think they'll probably just skip on Tact, and I'm not going to blame them with how they've done Rise. But, Heaven Pegasus, right? So, I could see them still doing... I don't see the actual gimmick for the layer base being removed on Heaven, or what was it called? The unconfirmed official names, like Haven. It's not even confirmed, it's just what has been spread around. But, like, Heaven comes with, what, 10 in proof? So, I hope they don't skip out on the proof frame, because we still haven't gotten the proof frame. No, I could easily see them making Heaven really, not Heaven, Pegasus ship really sucky and just give it the Dohan slopes to emulate the fact that Pegasus for TT, when it's on that stock, really bad. But the thing is this, Low has metal. So if you don't know what Low is, imagine Eternal but with metal. Like, they can't do Low Hypersphere, so maybe it'll be Switch Strike? Probably not. How do they do Low Hypersphere? I don't know. My last thing is my second last thing is Union Achilles, because I was going to go over Odin, or whatever, Odux, right? Odux, I don't think they can do anything. The only issue I could see maybe, other than the whole thing in plastic, is the begin weight, because I still don't know. I don't even know if they're going to do the Odux ship. Who knows? Union Achilles, whatever they're going to call it, right? How are they going to do speed and power mode? Now, my theory is going to be this. If they're not going to do the Switch Strike for Achilles, I think we're just going to get the power mode and they're not going to do the speed mode, which, to be honest, I'd kind of be bummed if we didn't get the two, but speed mode sucks. So if they didn't do it, I really would not care. But Extend Plus, I don't even care about Convert. We still have not gotten Extend Plus from Hasbro. So when eventually, later down, probably 2020, when we get through Achilles, I want to see Extend Plus. I don't want to see no Slingshot Extend Plus. I don't want to see no Hypersphere Extend Plus. I just want Extend Plus. Please, Hasbro, I'm begging you. I just need that one driver. And the last thing too, the Prime Apocalypse and Genesis Regalia, or Genesis, whatever. Look, my thing is this. They could potentially do the infinite lock system, or infinite slope system, I guess I should say. And they could just make the slopes on the barriers really sucky and just make the contact point to burst them just easier. Now, for the hybrid driver, look, they could just pack up probably Regalia in some big sets. They'll cost a lot of money, and that's how they can do it. Or they could do Regalia in some like RC thing when RC is crazy expensive. Well, not now, but before it was. And they also need to do Ultimate Reboot and Dagger, so that's my thing. Hasbro, this is a message from me, probably also the fans. Look, I'm sure some are alright with these unique changes. We just want to see some stuff done right. You know, I think that's not too much to ask for, please. If there's some modifications, that's fine, but you know, maybe some stuff. I understand still, it's their own identity, whatever. I need these things to be solid, because if Rise can just do the smallest things, the Rise lineup won't be that bad. But we don't know. That's speculation. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.